It's good to be here with you, nature. I love the way you make this river sing. So it kind of holds my speech. First of all, it's the breathing for me. Part of my education in biology, earth system science, was to understand that this air that I breathe right now is alive in the sense of keeping itself in a chemically unstable way. Oxygen is very reactive, and there's a lot of it. CO2 is not as reactive, but very important. And the way oxygen, plants, CO2 dance with each other through life, that is unique, at least in the solar system, and we don't know if it's unique in the galaxy. Only Earth has this atmosphere composition where life interacts with the air in such a way that the air cares for life and life cares for the air. Trees are rooted beings that specialize in the sense of place, and they are also upright beings. They are our homes. Trees gave the human body its shape, and also our sense of being, in the term of we tend to think upwards as a way of something positive, light, reaching for growth, nourishment, while falling down and falling on the ground is something that is threatening. And when we fall to sleep, and we fall down, that's like dying to us. They keep us alive. They made this air. They keep cleaning it. They move with it. They dance with it. They shape the land. They make places into what they are. And they are very steadfast, loyal. I mean, they stay where they are and they care for that place. They don't run around like mad making havoc. Rather, they nourish this place, like with leaves all over here and the birds and the insects. So they give more than they take. And that's my hope for the humans as well, that we can learn from trees. So then having 9 or 10 billion humans will not be a problem, because each human gives more to its landscape and the air than we take. So for me, trees are gurus, they are masters. Pollution is insensitivity. It's when we ignore this field that we're part of, when it's like this river in the background here. If I ignore its being, it's easy for us to just get rid of garbage, oils, soaps, molecules that are foreign to the river's being. And when we are insensitive to its being, we maybe don't even notice that we are destroying it, that we are insulting it, until it gets so sick that it's impossible to ignore it any longer. Most of us, because we are from a modern European culture, we've learned not to notice pollution, not to notice the imbalance in nature, not to notice the smog. But when science starts to tell us rationally what we have done, and when we take away that old way of thinking and speaking that doesn't recognize the balance of ecosystems and the balance of air, then we become sensitive again. And then this tremendous impact that we've had on nature comes back to us. Most people have a defense system, so you don't even notice it. But when the defense system goes down and you're sensitive again and you notice and see, that's when the sadness strikes. Maybe the anger first, I don't know, maybe the surprise. Then as you let it sink in, really take in what my culture has been doing over the last 100 years or so. And I think sadness, at least to me, sadness is inevitable. And this sadness that fills my heart is not just personal. It's not just you feeling. It's also reconnecting with this feeling in nature. You know, trees are very sensitive. They know when their friends are cut down. Animals know in their bodies when their habitats are being killed. So the great grief is also connecting the sadness that started out with me in my body, being personal, and then seeing that, wow, they're sad too. I mean, they're well, what can we say? Tears just kind of swell up in me. And you know, sometimes some people respond in this way, that it just happens spontaneously in their bodies. But being from a modern, optimistic, so we say ego-centered culture that wants everybody to master their life and get their act together and be happy all the time, then when they respond in this way, they feel as if they're going mad, that I shouldn't feel this way, it's something sick. But I would say it's the opposite, it's very healthy. So the great grief, feeling that sadness in me, in nature, is very important. It shows you're alive. It's the most natural empathic response we can have to being in the world at this time. If you're not depressed by hearing about the extinction of species and the climate change, then there must be something wrong with you. You should see a psychotherapist if you're not depressed. But being sad, being depressed, having access to that, it's like, it's a sign, it's a signal that you are, yes, you are a human. You're a two-legged, you're an earthling. You're in touch with what is real. Be in your grief. Then next week you have the opposite intensity of joy. So it's like, if you want to be alive, you have to explore the different colors, the different seasons of the soul. And the grief to me is connected with just this weather we have here, the way the leaves fall down, they decompose, the dying off of summer. I think we need to do that inside as well. To stay healthy, we need to cry, we need to feel the grief. There's the winter of the soul. It's hard to put in human words, but sometimes I hear fragments. When I pay attention to the tree, I can feel it sensing me. I mean, it doesn't see me with human eyes, but you know, they're very sensitive with the leaves, with the bark, and one thing I could feel the tree saying to me is like, stay a while. I think they're a little bit sometimes dizzy with the way we run around. They're fascinated by it. I get the impression that it's kind of cool. These trees are kind of moving their roots. But stay, that was one word, stay. And another phrase that sometimes comes is, think first time was some trees up on the hill over there. Was who is speaking for us? And maybe implicit in that, will you? Sometimes if you spend time with a tree and rest, at least when I rest my head against it, it seems, I get the fantasy that the tree travels, because as with the birds, which may come with seeds and droppings and smells from other trees, this tree also senses that I've been with other trees and I've seen other lands. So this tree here has only immediate contact with this land, but through this moving two-legged upright being, it can maybe sense other trees, other lands. So I sometimes feel it kind of brings forth images, memories of other trees, and then they go, that's interesting. So maybe just not listening to what I say, or I getting messages from them, they use me for exploring the world. Following the silver thread that sometimes blossoms open and sometimes closes, will lead you into an unexpected life. And if you speak to life, if you speak to nature rather than speaking about it, you may be surprised to discover that nature speaks back to you and that life guides you.